She was the one who called 911, said her husband was already dead. But when officers stepped inside, something in the room was still responding. Rachel Carter stands at the edge of the living room, arms folded tight, phone still in her hand, as if she hasn't let go since the call. Her breathing is steady, too steady. "I woke up and found him like that," she says, her voice level. No cracks, no hesitation. Down the hallway, Michael Carter's office door is half open. A thin line of light cuts across the floor. Inside, the air feels untouched, like nothing has been disturbed. Michael Carter, successful, structured, predictable. The kind of man who followed the same routine every night. Dinner at 7, emails at 8, in bed by 10, no enemies, no chaos, no reason for this. The officers step carefully into the room. Michael is seated at his desk, still, head slightly lowered. A single lamp illuminates the workspace. No signs of struggle, no forced entry, no broken glass. Everything exactly where it should be. Too perfect. Behind them, Rachel doesn't move any closer. She doesn't rush forward, doesn't call his name, doesn't even look directly at him. "I didn't want to touch anything," she adds quickly. But there's a pause, a detail that doesn't sit right. "She never checked his pulse," one officer mutters under his breath. Another glances back toward her. She's still standing in the same spot, same posture, same expression. And she never stepped fully into the room. The silence stretches, because it's not just what she said, it's what she didn't do. The first officer steps deeper into the office, careful not to disturb anything. And his eyes move slowly. Desk, shelves, carpet, windows, everything is in place. No overturned chair, no shattered glass, no signs of panic. Michael Carter sits exactly where he should be, except he isn't breathing. "Check for wounds," the second officer says quietly. "Nothing obvious. No blood. No marks on his neck, no sign of a struggle. The desk is clean. Too clean. Laptop open. A document still on screen. Cursor blinking. Steady. Rhythmic. As if someone had just been typing seconds ago. But the room is silent. "No weapon," one of them confirms. Drawers are opened carefully. Inside, pens, files, nothing unusual. No hidden compartments, no sign of anything missing. "Nothing stolen either," another adds. The windows are checked next. Locked. No scratches. No tampering. Then the door. The officer steps back into the hallway, examining the handle, the frame, the lock mechanism. He turns it slowly. It clicks. Then he looks at his partner. "This was locked from the inside." A pause. They both look back at Michael. "A sealed room," the first officer says under his breath. "No entry. No exit." The words hang there, because it leaves only one possibility. Or rather, no possibility at all. The officer steps back into the office, slower this time, his eyes scanning everything again, but now with a different kind of focus. Because something here isn't just wrong, it's impossible. He leans closer to Michael's desk. The laptop screen flickers slightly as the cursor continues blinking. Then, a soft sound. Click. Both officers freeze. The sound didn't come from the hallway, it came from inside the room. Another sound follows. Tap. Like a key being pressed. But no one is touching the keyboard. The officer's gaze drops to the laptop. The cursor moves, one space, then another. Slow, deliberate, as if something is still interacting with it. Neither officer speaks. They just watch, because somehow, inside a locked room, with no one else inside, something is still responding. Detective Harris sits at the monitor, rewinding the security footage frame by frame. The timestamp glows in the corner, 8:51 p.m. Rachel walks in from the driveway, keys in hand, calm, composed, exactly as she said. She disappears into the house. No one else enters. No one exits. Not a shadow on the porch. Then the forensic report comes in. Michael's estimated time of death, 10:32 p.m. Harris leans back. She said she was asleep by 9:30. Another officer mutters, "So, if she was asleep, who or what was in that room for the next hour?" The discrepancy gnaws at them. Every recorded frame supports Rachel's story, except the clock of death. And yet, the room shows activity. Harris points at the motion sensors on the smart system logs. Lights flicked on. Desk chair moved slightly. HVAC vents adjusted. Someone had been inside. But the cameras saw nothing. A chill sets in. Something doesn't fit. It never does. Back at headquarters, the call is replayed. Rachel's voice floats from the speaker. Calm, steady. "I found him. He's not moving," she says. Officers exchange uneasy glances. Her breathing is controlled, deliberate, not panicked. Replay it again. Pause. Slow it down. Each word measured, each pause calculated. No gasps, no stutters, no signs of immediate shock. Detective Morales whispers. It didn't sound like panic. It sounded rehearsed. They listen again. The timing of her statements aligns suspiciously well with the estimated time of death. Every second seems almost too perfect. Harris jots notes. Calm tone, delayed response to dispatcher, phrasing unusual. Something in her delivery suggests foreknowledge. And yet, no visible struggle, no sign of forced entry. The tension stretches the room. They return to the office, a fine-toothed examination this time. Forensic light sweeps across the desk. Dust particles catch the glow. And then a shadow, or rather, a gap. A clean, rectangular outline, slightly lighter than the surrounding dust. "Something was there," whispers Officer Patel. Her hand hovers over the gap. And someone made sure it wasn't anymore. Laptop? Files? Envelope? They can't tell yet. Whoever removed it did so meticulously. No fingerprints, no residue. It's as if the object evaporated, leaving only the memory of its presence. Harris steps back. His stomach tightens. Everything else in this room is accounted for, except that. And it matters. They photograph it, catalog it, but the sense of a missing piece hangs in the air. The detectives move outside to interview neighbors. Mrs. Delgado, from 2 houses down, swears she heard voices around 10:15 p.m. "An argument," she says, voice trembling. "Michael was yelling, yes, but there was another voice, a woman's, or maybe someone else, I don't know." Her description is vague, but precise enough. Detective Morales scribbles, "Second voice does not match Michael." "If it wasn't him," Harris says slowly, "then who was in that house?" The question hangs like smoke. And another neighbor corroborates faint footsteps around 10:20 p.m. Heavy, deliberate, but only one set leading to the office. Security footage confirms no one left the property. No one left. No one entered. Yet there was a second presence. The tension is relentless. Every answer births another question. Every clue leads to more uncertainty. Rachel remains unnervingly calm, watching from the corner, never stepping fully into the room, never touching anything. Her hands stayed folded, the phone clutched tight. A soft hum from the smart system catches Harris's attention, lights shifting slightly, thermostat adjusting, desk chair rocking. Again. And somewhere in the back of their minds, every officer knows the room isn't empty. Something or someone remains. And it isn't Michael. Detective Harris rewinds the security footage again, an eyes narrowing at the timestamp. Everything is normal until 10:29 p.m. The video jumps 3 full minutes missing. 3 minutes erased, whispers Officer Patel, right before everything ended. The timestamp freezes, then skips, then resumes, showing only Rachel standing silently in the living room. No shadows, no movement, no explanation for what happened during that 3-minute gap. Harris taps the monitor. The system logs show nothing unusual except the blackout. Someone had intentionally wiped the footage. Carefully, methodically. And the timing? Too precise, too deliberate. Forensic teams sweep the entire house, every room, every closet, every nook. Then Officer Morales stops at the office bookshelf. Something catches his eye. The floorboards slightly misaligned, the light reflecting oddly on the shelf's edge. He presses gently. A section of the bookshelf clicks. The whole panel swings inward, revealing a narrow, dimly lit passage. An entrance hidden in plain sight, Morales says, voice low. That no one mentioned. The passage is clean, barely used, dust-free on the handle, leading directly behind the office walls. Harris steps closer, flashlight in hand. The narrow corridor twists, ending in a small hidden room. No furniture, no personal items. Just a space that had allowed someone to enter or exit without being seen. The implications are immediate and staggering. Back in the office, Rachel's financials are reviewed. Bank statements, investment accounts, and the most damning, Michael's updated will. Rachel's face is unreadable as the documents are laid out. And the will shows a shocking change. All major inheritance redirected to a foundation in Michael's name. In one decision, whispers Patel, pointing to the line, everything she stood to gain disappeared. The detectives exchange glances. Motive is clear, buried beneath composure. But the calmness Rachel maintains is uncanny. There's no outburst, no panic, only a hint of controlled resignation. She watches, silent, measured, observant. System logs are reviewed with a forensic eye. Every motion sensor, door contact, light switch, HVAC cycle, traced, time-stamped, correlated. Look at this, Harris says. All movement inside the office, lights, chair adjustments, thermostat, remotely triggered. It's as if someone was controlling the house from outside, or perhaps another room. And the room looks alive, even when no one was physically moving inside it. The officers exchange a silent, heavy glance. Every standard procedure, every expected behavior. Subverted. The smart home was a weapon in itself. Reconstruction begins. Investigators piece together the timeline, layering the hidden passage, the missing footage, and the remote system manipulation. Hypothesis emerges. Rachel, plus an unknown accomplice. Entry through the hidden door. Argument. Death. Scene meticulously staged to appear as a sealed room mystery. Forensic reenactments confirm the chair moved slightly, desk disturbed, lights flicked, all timed perfectly to mimic activity after death. It wasn't a perfect crime, Harris says, leaning on the desk. It was a controlled illusion. Every detail, A calm 911 call, missing inheritance, erased footage. A hidden door, manipulated smart home, points to orchestration. And yet, Rachel still stands in the living room, arms folded, phone clutched, expression blank. The room is silent, the air thick. Everything visible points to a story. Everything invisible hints at another, and no one can tell where the illusion ends and reality begins. The interrogation room is stark, fluorescent light bouncing off the metal table. Rachel sits perfectly upright, hands folded, eyes steady. Across from her, Detective Harris leans forward, sliding photos and smart home logs across the table. "You weren't alone that night," he says. Rachel doesn't flinch. No change in posture, no hesitation. Her lips curl into the faintest smile. "You're close," she says softly, almost taunting. But you're missing the most important part." Harris slams his palm lightly on the table. "We have hidden doors, missing footage, remote activity, and someone had to be there. Who?" Rachel tilts her head, calm. "Patience," she replies. "You'll see. You just need to look at the right thing." Pressure builds. Every officer involved feels it. The walls seem tighter, the clock louder, every detail a hammer striking against their disbelief. Nothing Rachel says breaks the tension. Her composure is almost cruel. And yet, in that calm, controlled demeanor, a single chilling certainty emerges. She isn't hiding fear. She's hiding something bigger. Back in the office, the missing object is finally identified. A smart speaker, small, sleek, and easily overlooked on a shelf. Cloud data is pulled. Voice commands analyzed. Every instruction logged. Lights on, thermostat adjusted, desk chair nudged. But the voice? It doesn't match Rachel, doesn't match Michael. Harris freezes as the analysis completes. There was a third voice, giving commands inside that house. The forensic report shows something impossible. The commands were timed precisely with Michael's death, manipulating the scene to make it appear as though the house itself was alive. Final reveal. The voice belongs to a man reported missing 2 weeks earlier. A handyman who had worked in the neighborhood. A man no one thought would ever resurface. Somewhere in that hidden passage, someone who shouldn't exist was controlling the house the entire time. And for all intents and purposes, orchestrating the illusion of a perfect crime. The camera lingers on Rachel, expression unchanged, smile faint. So, what do you think really happened?" Harris's voice echoes in the quiet room. Was Rachel the mastermind, or just part of something bigger? And a question no one can answer. Who was controlling the house that night? The screen fades to black, leaving the audience with the echo of impossible events and the knowledge that some truths are engineered to stay hidden. Want to uncover more stories where nothing is as it seems? Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Don't miss the next mind-bending mystery, because the truth is never quite what you expect.